Tory Lanez is speaking out on being found guilty in the shooting of Megan Thee Stallion, and it looks like he's refusing to accept the jury's verdict.
All y'all know what you're doing is creating my situation to look worse and be worse for me and my family and my child.
Tory has now broken his silence on the guilty verdict, and it looks like he's still trying to fight the jury's decision. Meanwhile, the outcome of the trial has sparked a huge online war between Tory and Megan's fans. And while Tory's supporters are convinced Tory was set up by Megan and her label, Megan's fans are saying Tory needs to take accountability and pay for the crime he committed. But what exactly did Tory say about the guilty verdict? Let's break it all down.
There's two courts. There's a court of law, but there's a court of public opinion. In the court of public opinion, why would you do things that would further slow me down from getting money and doing things without even knowing a truth to anything, without even a lick of evidence, without anything?
As you've all probably heard by now, an LA jury found Tory Lanez guilty on 3 charges related to the 2020 shooting of Megan Thee Stallion, and Tory now faces a maximum sentence of over 22 years in prison.
Breaking now, a jury has convicted a Canadian rapper for shooting Houston native Megan Thee Stallion. Within the hour, a Los Angeles jury found rapper Tory Lanez guilty of 3 felonies. The 2020 shooting left Megan wounded with bullet fragments in her feet. The jury found Lanez guilty of assault with a semi-automatic firearm, having a loaded, unregistered firearm in a vehicle, and discharging a firearm with gross negligence.
As you can imagine, Tory, his family, and fans had a lot to say about the verdict. But before we go into all that, here's a quick recap of the key moments from the high-profile trial. Now, the first thing you need to keep in mind is that Megan didn't sue Tory, and this is something a lot of people get wrong when talking about this trial. Megan first publicly named Tory as the person who shot her during an Instagram Live in August 2020. Megan claimed she initially wanted to protect Tory and didn't want to say anything. However, when he started running to the blogs and smearing her name, she decided to call him out.
Yes, this Tory shot me. You shot me. And you got your publicists and your people going to these blogs lying and shit. Stop lying. Why lie? I don't understand. I tried to keep the situation off the internet, but you dragging it.
However, Megan still didn't file any lawsuits against Tory. Instead, it was the state of California that decided to prosecute Tory, and in October 2020, the district attorney of LA County charged him with 2 felony counts.
Rapper Tory Lanez has been charged with shooting artist Megan Thee Stallion during an argument. The DA's office says Lanez, whose legal name is Daystar Peterson, shot Megan's feet during an argument in the Hollywood Hills July 12th. The 28-year-old was arrested the night of the shooting, but was released after posting bail. He now faces 2 felony charges.
At the DA's request, the judge also issued a protective order against Tory, ordering him to stay at least 100 yards away from Megan and not contact her. In April 2022, Tory was arrested for violating the protection order and released after posting a bond. However, in October, he was arrested again and placed on house arrest following an altercation with singer August Alsina.
You knocked his ass out, Tory. You knocked him out. Tory said he just knocked August Alsina right out. 1 punch crunched him, Tory.
On December 5th, Tory was released from house arrest to prepare for the trial, and the following day, the prosecutors added an additional felony charge of discharging a firearm with gross negligence.
He has just been hit with a 3rd felony charge now, which certainly seems like really bad news for him. And that charge is negligent discharge of a firearm.
The trial started on December 12th, and on the first day, the prosecutors and Tory's defense made their opening statements. In their opening statements, LA County prosecutors Kathy Ta and Alexander Bott alleged that Tory shot Megan 5 times, causing bodily injury.
For the prosecution, the story is pretty straightforward. They're going to say that Tory Lanez either shot or shot at Megan Thee Stallion and either directly hit her feet or, as opposed to this new charge they added at, recklessly discharged a firearm in the proximity of her feet, causing some sort of injury.
However, Tory's defense lawyer argued during his opening statement that the incident was sparked by Megan's jealousy of both Kylie Jenner and Megan's former friend Kelsey Harris, who was present during the incident. Tory's lawyer claimed that Megan was upset, drunk, and jealous after seeing Tory getting cozy with Kylie at the pool party, and she ordered Tory to leave the party with him. According to Tory's defense, Megan then started arguing with Kelsey in the car after Tory told Kelsey he and Megan had been intimate. Tory's lawyer said that at one point, Kelsey and Megan left the car and started fighting, and then Kelsey grabbed Tory's gun and shot Megan.
Tory Lanez is outspoken about this incident, as he has been throughout, and on social media, he claims his last tweet, he writes, quote, "No weapon formed against me shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against me in judgment shall be condemned. You sit and watch now," citing a biblical verse as well there.
However, Megan took the stand on the second day of the trial and offered her account, saying Tory shot her following an argument in the car with her and Kelsey. Megan testified that she, Tory, and Kelsey started arguing after leaving Kylie's party, and at one point she asked Tory to let her out of the car. Megan exited the car. However, as she was walking away, she told the court she heard Tory yell, "Dance, bitch." She then turned around and saw Tory hanging out of the car window and pointing a gun at her. Moments later, he started firing. Megan broke down in court while describing how the attack left her with constant pain in her feet, and she said that becoming a target of public scrutiny was torture, and it made her wish she had lost her life that night.
She was really emotional in court today. She said this story is not just about a shooting. This story is about who I had sex with. You remember yesterday the defense, they were really pitting her against her friend, talking about the fact that they shared intimate partners, multiple intimate partners. She said in court today, "I had just done a song with Beyonce. I did something of my dreams and I was shot at." And she said, they're calling this the Megan Thee Stallion trial. I am not on trial. I wish he would have killed me. If I knew I would have to go through this torture, I wish he would have killed me.
Megan also told the court that Tory begged her and Kelsey not to tell the police anything, and even offered them hush money.
She says that Tory offered her $1 million to keep quiet. That he said, "Please don't say anything," and that he told her, "I was already caught with a gun. I'm on probation." She says he was not worried about her at all.
Now, as for the gunshot residue, both Tory and Kelsey tested positive for residue on their bodies, and Tory's lawyer tried to use this as evidence that Kelsey was the one who fired the gun, claiming that residue was only found on Tory because he was trying to stop Kelsey from shooting. However, the prosecutors explained that gunshot residue travels quickly, and if Kelsey was close to Tory when he fired the gun, the residue would have ended up on both of them. Another damning piece of evidence against Tory was a series of text messages Kelsey sent to Megan's bodyguard about 5 minutes after the shooting, which read, "Help, Tory shot Meg, 911. As for Kelsey, she made the whole thing even worse for Tory because she repeatedly invoked her Fifth Amendment rights and refused to answer most of the questions. On top of that, Kelsey also changed her story, contradicting the claims she previously made during the investigation. Kelsey testified that the incident was blurry in her memory because she had been drinking that night. However, this contradicted the statements she made during a recorded interview with LA County Deputy DA Kathy Ta in September when she described the incident in detail. The prosecution then played a portion of Kelsey's interview. However, Kelsey told the court she lied to the DA during the interview to protect herself.
Megan Thee Stallion's former best friend and assistant, Kelsey Harris, took the stand today. When she got there, she was granted immunity. And her testimony seemed to leave prosecutors frustrated because she answered almost every question with, quote, "I honestly don't remember." Harris made it clear today that her memory from that night was blurry because there was a lot of alcohol involved. Back in September, Deputy District Attorney Kathy Ta recorded an interview with Harris recounting the night. A lot of that recording was played in court today to refresh Harris's memory about what happened that night in the Hollywood Hills. Harris describing each part of that night in specific detail. But in court today, Harris said a lot of the things she said in September weren't true, saying, quote, "I was protecting myself."
When asked about the text messages she sent to Megan's bodyguard telling him to call 911 because Tory shot Megan, Kelsey told the court the text was based on assumptions. Kelsey was equally unconvincing when cross-examined by Tory's lawyer. And though she claimed Tory never bribed or threatened her, when the lawyer asked her, "Did my client offer you $1 million?" she responded, "I can't remember." The court also heard the testimony of Dr. Lee Haruno, chief resident of orthopedic surgery at Cedars-Sinai, who showed the jury Megan's x-rays and testified that the doctors identified 4 metallic bullet fragments embedded in her feet. Another person who testified was 911 caller Sean Kelly, who said he first saw a muzzle flash near 2 women fighting and then a very agitated man firing everywhere. As for Tory, he declined to testify in his own defense, and during the closing statement, Tory's lawyer once again alleged Kelsey was the one who shot Megan, claiming that the prosecutor's story is full of holes and adding, "Megan Pete is a liar." However, Tory's defense was unsuccessful, and on December 23rd, the jury convinced Tory on all 3 felony charges.
Today, a jury of 7 women and 5 men decided rapper Tory Lanez's criminal fate. Guilty, guilty, guilty on assault with a semi-automatic firearm, having a concealed, not registered firearm in a vehicle, and discharge of a firearm with gross negligence.
Tory was taken to jail immediately after the conviction, and a sentencing hearing is set for January 27, 2023. According to LA County Sheriff's Department records, Tory's facing up to 22 years and 8 months in prison, and possible deportation to Canada. As you can imagine, fans on social media are now as divided as ever, and while Tory's supporters are spreading all kinds of conspiracy theories, claiming that Tory was set up by Megan's label, Rock Nation, Megan's fans are glad Megan's finally getting her justice. One of Tory's fans claimed this was a whole setup because Megan had motives right along with Rock Nation and knew exactly what she was doing. However, another fan fired back saying, if it's easier for you to believe that Jay-Z and a cabal at Rock Nation orchestrated a carefully planned framing of Tory Lanez than it is for you to believe that he got mad and shot a woman, you were too dumb to be alive. I ain't gonna lie. But what about Tory and his family? How did they react to the guilty verdict? Well, Tory's father had a lot to say after the verdict was read, and he exploded in front of the courtroom, calling the prosecutors wicked and screaming about Jay-Z and Rock Nation.
This court system is not for justice. It's about wins and losses, and they do dirty to do whatever they can. Jay-Z, let me speak to you.
He has kids.
Rock Nation, because my son refused to sign a Rock Nation deal with you.
Yes.
And Desiree Perez, you wicked witch, you snitch.
Yes.
You turned on your co-conspirators, all the whole mafia, one of you that was peddling drugs in this country, and you rolled on them before so the Fed could give you a deal.
Tory's dad also vowed to bring down everyone responsible for what he thinks is a conspiracy against his son, warning Jay-Z that Rock Nation will crumble.
Tell me, how does bullets disappear in the LAPD's office? Tell me how there's no fingerprints. My God Almighty, I call heaven and earth to be a record today. That Rock Nation, you will crumble. I am an apostle of God, and you will know who I am.
That's right. Say that, twang.
Now, as for Tory, his lawyer said that Tory thinks the verdict is shocking, and he also revealed that Tory is still not giving up and is exploring all options, including an appeal. But now we want to hear your opinions on the verdict against Tory. Do you think justice has been served? Leave your comments down below. And if you thought this story was messy, don't miss out on this next video.